Welcome back, Sophie. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the deep crop was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Badarin's ringing endorsement left me in little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Beau Lord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. You might recognize these three. Aviri's gone, and it's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. To the hells with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving, and it'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I am leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, of some parting advice, get rid of Aviri's head. Bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it. But for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Wait, don't leave me alone. Please. I'm so sorry, Aviri. Please forgive me. And in case you forgot, Aviri was that paladin, warrior, whatever, that was like so rude to her at the Sastasha entrance. So he died. He did not survive. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience. I can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. So as you see, you do 3 dungeons, one for each of the city-states, which is kind of cool because it lets you learn the cities too, a little bit, so. Ding, fries are done. So, you're not averse to taking a little trip? Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now, off you go, Sophie, and good luck. I know who Momodi is, you don't have to tell me. I'm from there, remember? I know quite well who she is. I can't believe I'm gonna be 30 before I finish the 3 dungeons. That's insane. You remember, I'm supposed to be doing this at level 15, and back in the day, by the time you finished the 3 of them, if you didn't really have any rested experience, you would pretty much be around level 16 to 17, maybe 17. I'm already 30. Well, I'm going to be 30. Welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now, if you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Oh, it's you, Sophie. And there I was, spouting the same tired line. Mione sent word that you were reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to me prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? Let's do that indeed. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under that sun, and I would have business set up, or I would have been set afire. A tankard of ale, if you would be so kind. Excellent timing, Papa Sean. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. Oh, why if it isn't my good friend Soapy. It does my spirit well to know that you're the one who will be helping us. Mayhap you'd like to appraise Soapy of permission? Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell Mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are one of the clan known as the FFXIV. That's my best guess. Fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn Dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their absence has forced their presence has forced a suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, milady. The people of that age used the FFXIV to work their mines. By way of enchanted helms, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will. But, as is often the way in such travels, these enchantments eventually failed and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the the giants, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels. So it was the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines were being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Gods bless you. I fear you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are in western Thanland. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amagina and Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Oh, well, he's right there. Hello there. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So, you're the adventurer who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? You've got guts, miss. I just hope you've got skills to go with them, cause things ain't pretty down there. The giants left the place in a right state, and nary a week after Minan returned. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty Sorry. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torches keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Alright, so next we head to Copperville Mines, which we've been to before. It's over by Horizon. You'll remember when you see it. So, this is Copperville. You might remember these guys. They got... In their quest line, they said they got thrown out of the mines because of an emergency where they were shutting everything down. Which is kind of cool because they were referencing already that we were going to be coming back to this because, hey, Copperville. Copperville. So, here's our duo again. I have been an adventurer for long years and borne witness to many a pivotal moment in history. Though the times may have changed, the essence of our trade has not. Adventuring has ever been a quest for self and betterment through challenges freely faced, and ever shall it remain so. As an adventurer becomes more experienced, he will naturally acquire a love of justice and an understanding of the spirit of self-sacrifice. Such experience cannot be measured in any tangible way, yet it most assuredly shapes who we are, grounded as it is in the decisions we have made on our journey and the consequences, good or ill. I sense a light within you, young one, and it tells me that you are destined for greatness. We found Dolores Bear and his entire party dead. Oh, that's what happened. The giants were thorough in their work. Judging by their tracks, it would seem they tried to rush a horde of the creatures. I cannot say for sure what drove an experienced crew like theirs to throw caution to the wind, but I do have my suspicions. We are all our own worst critics, and our desire to better past achievements can rob us of good sense. Thus do we become more given to recklessness. While it is important to have goals, one must not fixate upon them to the exclusion of all else. Do so, and one will surely pay the price, as Dolores Bear and his comrades did this day. Oh, so that's why we never see him again. You know what? I think I've played through this like 5 times or 6 times now, and maybe have talked to these two a couple times, and I just never put that together. Like maybe I just didn't talk to Aliane or whatever. But yeah, okay, so wow, Dolores Bear and that entire group died. So looking all the way back to the very first dungeon we did, remember the very first dungeon, it was these two, and then there was the group with Edda and Avery and the ranger and the mage, and they were being mean to Edda. And then there was, when we got back from it, Dolores Bear and his group. And then in the second one, Aubrey died and Edda's group broke up. Everybody hated Edda. And then, but these two were still there. And Dolores Bear, they went through Sestasha, but now here at Copperville, it's just these two are the only two left. So kind of an interesting thing that Final Fantasy does here is they like make it very clear that adventuring is no small task to undertake, and it kind of, without saying it outright, it points out the fact that you are really strong. There's been an incident inside Copperville Mines. We are here to ensure that its effects are contained, but for your own safety I suggest you stay well away from here. What? You're the adventurer who volunteered to quell the giants? I didn't think that Papa Shan would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it is only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see them, the better. Make ready as best you can and enter at will. Wow, so I totally missed that Dolores and his team died before, but at the same time, like, it's really sad. All they wanted to do was be heroes that got, you know, songs sung about them. Quite the sad little thing there. I like the little intro things, but you might notice that this one, it does not have an intro for, or which it didn't show any of the giant stuff, is what I was trying to say. Come here, monsters. But yep, we'll do the same thing. And trust me, you'll be glad we did, because Copperbell Mines is, while story-wise very interesting, it's probably, I think, one of the lesser good dungeons. Certainly not a good dungeon in terms of entertainment value. This is definitely the learn how to, like, it's definitely a very much a let's see if you can figure out mechanics dungeon, and that is not always fun. So yep, we'll just do a little intro here. You can see a little bit of the mine, and then we'll cut away here after this fight. Lots of Spriggans and Kobolds in this one. Spriggans are the cutest thing ever, by the way, in case you're wondering. Okay, so we're pretty deep in the mine now, and you can see there's a giant over there. This is what they do: is they bust out of the walls and start attacking. But we're about done. I just wanted to show you one of the giants breaking out of the wall. It's like the fourth Bow Striker's Tabard just dropped. Crazy. I remember back in the day, like, farming for those, and now you don't need them because you get the thing. Slaves no more! Free! Free! Yeah, this group's had this problem where they don't like to wait for me. Even when I'm not typing, they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever we want. Like, they're so bad at it, I'm not gonna lie, this group is so overzealous, in fact, that they, a couple times, the DPS have gone and pulled new groups while this previous group was still alive, and it's okay to do that, but it's okay for the tank to do that. You don't... The DPS kind of are the people that kill things, right? So, like, if they're not finishing, if neither of the DPS are finishing off the thing that's being fought already, like, the tank's just gonna sit there and take damage and not be able to do damage to kill it, in theory. So it's kind of a good idea to finish them off, DPS, you know? Just made me laugh. But it's an early dungeon, like, I'm pretty sure all these people are new. They all have the little green leaf thing on their head, so it's fine. It just made me chuckle a bunch. And that's Copperbell Mines.